there. This is Datila with Rangers of Wrestling, bringing you the Wrestling Time Post Show. It is Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023, which means tonight I will be talking about AEW Dynamite. Okay, so let's kick things off with Tony Khan's big announcement. So last week they teased a big announcement for tonight's Dynamite, and even before the show, um, they were in Phoenix, Arizona. So Tony Khan, according to an interview with the Phoenix U Times, Tony Khan was asked about what the announcement could entail. Give me 1 second. So Tony Khan was asked about what the announcement could entail, and he says, and I quote, "Well, I can't tell you right now, but it's something I'm very excited about, and it's great for the company." Khan teased, "There are a lot of things, a lot of exciting things in the near future for AEW. All I can say is that we have an important announcement coming at this show in Phoenix, and it's an exciting development for the company, and I'm excited to share with the fans in Phoenix and all over the world." So, with that being said, I kind of thought, oh, this was going to be maybe a Forbidden Door 2 announcement, probably something about with Ring of Honor. And no, that did not happen. It ended up being that Tony Khan, before tonight's main event, he said that he had a huge announcement and that it involved a lot of big stars in AEW, a lot of people in the backstage. But he thought it would be best if the announcement is made by a big star. And that star ended up being none other than Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole said that. Okay, so Adam. Okay, so Adam Cole said that in March, a weekly 1 hour television series will debut immediately after Dynamite on TBS called AEW All Access, an unfiltered look at AEW like no one has ever seen before, featuring himself, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and many more. He says this is something that people are going to want to see, and then we're going to see more of Adam Cole's story. We're going to see all of the challenges and all the downs and everything in between that Adam Cole has been going through. And he says that the night the show airs, Adam Cole will make his big in-ring return. And for the past 6 months, he has gone through hell. And the month of March is going to be special because Adam Cole Bay is back. So I feel like this announcement was very underwhelming because like you didn't need this announcement on Dynamite. I can't wait to not watch All Access Tony Khan ripping off Total Divas. Yeah, that's what some people said. And I feel like he didn't need to make this announcement on tonight's Dynamite. He could have just announced this on Twitter with like a video pack with that video, that interview that they showed of Adam Cole. You could have just aired that on Twitter. You didn't need this announcement. This was such an underwhelming announcement. Seriously. Out of all the things he could have announced, this is what he chose. Like I thought maybe he was gonna announce, like I said, something with Forbidden Door. I was hoping it to be Forbidden. Yeah, exactly. Forbidden Door 2, maybe the location. Maybe it was going to be Forbidden Door Impact versus AEW versus New Japan. But no, that was a big announcement. And it's kind of underwhelming. Really, it was. All right, so let's kick things off from the beginning, which AEW Dynamite kicked off with the All Atlantic Championship match, Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta. This is actually a really good match. I really enjoyed this match, especially because there's a history with Orange Cassidy and Wheeler Yuta. So, like at the very beginning, Orange Cassidy extended his hand to Wheeler Yuta, but Wheeler Yuta refused to shake his hand, and he took a shot at Cassidy. Orange Cassidy hitting Wheeler Yuta with a shoulder tackle. Claudio Castelloni came down to the ring and he slapped Wheeler Yuta, and he was saying a bunch of other stuff to him, which motivated him. Because after this, he just went after Orange Cassidy. He raked his eyes, and then he followed it up with the lariat. He sent poor Orange Cassidy crashing into the table. And then, like, Claudio Castelloni, I guess once he was satisfied with what he saw, he went back to the back. But Orange Cassidy was just being Orange Cassidy in this match. He did his kicks to Yuta. I really like the fact that Orange Cassidy was doing the hammer anime elbows to Yuta, which I thought was so hilarious. I thought it was a fun match. You can tell Cassidy and Yuta know each other really well. Yeah, they do. They do know each other really well. And it took an orange punch, a breach break, followed by another orange punch for Wheeler Yuta to finally from Orange Cassidy to finally beat Wheeler Yuta, because Wheeler Yuta was not going down easily. So afterwards, Claudio Castelloni comes out and Wheeler Yuta just leaves the ring with him. So overall, great fun match to kick off tonight's Dynamite. We get a backstage segment with Evil Uno and Hangman Adam Page. And Evil Uno basically asks, how exactly does one prepare for Jon Moxley? Hangman says that he's asked them to stay out of this 1,000 times, but he gets it. Evil Uno tells Hangman that he's requested that many times for them not to get involved, but each time Hangman says that, Evil Uno hears Dark Order is not on Hangman's level. Evil Uno has a request for Hangman. He tells him that no matter what happens in the match from bell to bell, he does not want Hangman not to get involved. And he says that if Hangman was Dark Order, he would understand it's time for them to stand up for themselves tonight. Moxley will learn why he is Evil Uno. It's interesting that they want to do this for Hangman, but yet the former Preston 10 Vance, he, ripped off his mask and basically turned heel, broke Negative One's heart, and they did nothing to Vance. I thought we were going to get a feud, LFI versus the Dark Order 3-on-3, but I guess that didn't happen. I was kind of waiting for that to happen. But nope, it did not happen. So we get a Ricky Starks in-ring promo. And he starts talking about how, the crowd starts chanting for him. And he says that if they were up to him, he would let the crowd chant for him all night, but they'll get mad at him for going over time. So he's talking about how, these past couple months, he's dealt with interference from the JAS. And he says that the message is clear. Jericho does not want a rematch. And that he's going to be moving on from Chris Jericho. And he pulls out a paper, and it's a contract for an open challenge at Revolution, because he will be damned if he gets left off the card, since in his entrance music it says the Revolution will be televised. So Jericho comes out and he says that he knows exactly what Starks is trying to do, and that is bait Chris Jericho into another match. He tells Starks to count his blessings, that he beat him once, and that's the highlight of his career, and it's never going to happen again, because Jericho can beat Starks anytime, any place, anywhere, because Starks isn't on his level. Jericho looking like a pincushion with that jacket. I didn't even think about that. So as Jericho's leaving, Peter Avalon comes out. And I guess he was going to accept Ricky Starks' open challenge, but Jericho hits him with the Judas effect before he can even enter the open challenge. And so Jericho makes his way back to the ring, and he says he wants to embarrass Starks. And I like that Ricky Starks makes a reference to Chris Jericho beating The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the same night that he did it by himself. Of course, he doesn't name drop them, but he says he beat two men by himself on the same night. So, of course, Jericho says that he can beat Ricky Starks one-on-one. Starks says that he doesn't think Jericho can beat him one-on-one. And Jericho starts talking about how if it were up to him, he will leave JSA in the back, but he did have a pen. And so Ricky Starks pulls out a pen. Oh my God, I actually really love this. So Chris Jericho was holding that contract, and he lifted the pen. And it's very similar to when he was doing the whole list of Jericho gimmick, when he would hold the pen like that. I'm getting ready for Jericho to say, you just made the list, when he clicked that pen. Yeah, same here. The whole you just made the list, that was so hilarious. I absolutely love that. little touch. All right. So it's going to be Chris Jericho versus Starks at Revolution. And he tells Ricky Starks to be careful what he wished for because nobody outsmarts the Ocho. So I actually really like this promo. Chris Jericho is just hilarious, man. Like the reference to the list and then the reference to the Rock and Stone Cold. I thought that was really cool. Really good. Next we get Lee Moriarty and Big Bill versus the Acclaimed. And I felt like this match, it was mostly the Acclaimed versus Lee Moriarty. I mean, he got hit with the backbreaker by Anthony Bowens. Although Big Bill did mock the Acclaimed, the Guns came out and watched on the ramp. Bowens hit Lee Moriarty with the famous sir. And the Guns attacked their dad. They attacked Daddy Ass, who had just gotten kicked by Big Bill. Okay, match, but it was short. Yeah, it definitely was short. Of course, the Acclaim win after Max Caster hits a mic drop to Lee Moriarty. So it was a very short match. It was a decent match, but it was super, super short. It wasn't a squash match, though. So we get a quick Christian Cage segment, or we're supposed to get one. But before he can even say anything, he is attacked by Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And he's about to set up Christian Cage for the Concerto, but he hesitates. And that hesitation cost him because Christian hits him with a low blow and then bounces Jungle Boy's face on this steel chair, and Jungle Boy gets busted open. And so, like, the medical team had to come and check on Jungle Boy. Like, I get Christian Cage got injured, and that halted the rivalry. But I honestly, we need to move on from Christian Cage and Christian Cage and Jungle Boy. I thought Jungle Boy said he was over this feud, and he was looking to get gold. So I'm hoping that if something does happen at Revolution, that we move on from this, because we have to move on from this feud. Next, we get Skye Blue versus Saraya. A short match. Saraya wins. The one thing I didn't like about this match was that Toni Storm got involved. And normally I don't have a problem with that because, they're heels. But really, against Skye Blue, of all people? Like, no disrespect to Skye Blue, but I don't think she's a threat to Saraya. I mean, I would have understood if it was someone like Hikaru Shida or even Jamie Hayter that where Toni Storm got involved. But really, against Skye Blue? What? Is saying Saraya can beat Skye Blue? I think she can. So, did not dig that aspect. So, after this match is over, Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker come out, and Saraya and Toni Storm run away. They spray paint a sign, and Ruby Soho comes out, and she gestures that she wants the women's title from Jamie Hayter. What the hell happened to Hikaru Shida? I mean, I felt like she was a part of this feud, and then she kind of just disappeared, and the focus shifted. So, where is Hikaru Shida? Is she back in Japan? Like, is she, like, anybody know where she's at? So, but if this doesn't lead to a blood and guts match with the AEW women, the originals versus the outsiders, yeah, it's gonna be sorely disappointed. Let me see. Watching YouTube videos was better than watching this match. Are you referring to Skye Blue versus Saraya? Okay. So we get a Bryan Danielson in-ring promo. And the crowd starts chanting for him. And Bryan says that it's obvious the crowd wants him to win the title at Revolution. And he says he's going to do everything in his willpower to beat MJF. He says that MJF hates Bryan. That he tried to get someone to break Bryan's arm and to incapacitate him. He put a bounty on him. And that MJF hospitalized his mentor, William Regal. Yeah, Skye Blue needs to be kept on dark. Oh, that's what you're referring to. So MJF comes out. He starts talking about how everybody he's loved has left him, including the fiancé that he proposed to. I'm sure that's kayfabe because MJF did get engaged. And as far as I know, him and his fiancé are still together. He says that She left him because he's unlovable, and the only thing in this world that he has is a triple B. He says that everybody loves Bryan. Everybody does a yes chance. MJF says that Bryan has a family, and he takes it for granted. That wrestling is more important than Bryan's family. He said he's no different than his drug-addicted mentor, William Regal. Bryan is addicted to the spotlight, and MJF says he's gonna punish Bryan for taking things for granted. I was like, dang, that's deep, man. So Bryan warns MJF not to bring up his children or he will kick the shit out of him. And so MJF talks directly to Bryan's children. And he starts saying he's going to rip off Dada's arm and he's going to give him an early present. And that is early onset CT. And before he can even finish that, Bryan attacks MJF. And security has to pull MJF and Bryan apart. Like, Bryan literally throws himself at MJF. And honestly, I really, really like this segment. I really like this segment because, like, I'm really hyped for that 60-minute Iron Man match. I cannot wait. And he made things personal by mentioning Bryan's kids. You don't mention someone's kids and get away with it. So after this, we get a Jamie Hayter interview, and she basically says we're gonna get a three-way match between Ruby Soho, her, and Saraya at Revolution for that women's title. That's actually gonna be a good match. And I have a feeling maybe Jamie Hayter is gonna pin Ruby. It would be a mistake to have Jamie Hayter pin Saraya so quickly. I thought it was an intense segment. How MJF mentioned Bryan says, yeah, definitely intense. You know that GIF that says, damn, like from, I think it's the movie Friday? That was perfect for that segment, that's for sure. Okay. So we get the Revolution Tag Team Battle Royale. So there was a lot of chaos in this match. So I tried my best to keep up with this. At one point, we had Penta and Tony Nese on the ring apron. Mark Briscoe came out and went after Mark Sterling and Josh Woods. Penta did the Fear Factor to Tony Nese on the ring apron. The Lucha Brothers together eliminated Ari Daivari. Butcher and Blade eliminated Aussie Open. John Silver eliminated the Blade. Butcher eliminated Alex Reynolds. Penta eliminated Vance. Rush eliminated Penta with the help of Vance. Phoenix eliminated Rush. Butcher eliminated Silver on here. I really like that Danhausen got involved in this. And he got eliminated by Parker, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker. And he wasn't even in this match. Best Friends eliminated Parker and Angelo Parker and Matt Menard. And then Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett eliminate Chuck Taylor. And we find out the Aussie Open will face the Young Bucks on Rampage. So through it all, in the end, we had Trent ended up being by himself with Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Now, Satan Singh prevented Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett from being eliminated. Like, they were literally on the ring apron, and he held his hands on their spines to prevent them from being eliminated. Both Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal had this moment where they thought they were eliminated Trent, and they did the strut, but each time Trent wasn't eliminated until finally Jay Lethal got eliminated. With Orange Cassidy came out from like under the ring and helped Trent. Danhausen chased away Sanjay Dutt, and thanks to Satan Singh, Jeff Jarrett was not eliminated, and the winners ended up being Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. I was not happy about this because you have so many tag teams that you can put in this battle royal, and you're gonna put Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. I mean, I get it. They had a feud with the Acclaimed, and it kind of seems like they have something going on with the Guns, but really? It's 2023, and Jeff Jarrett is getting a title shot. Why? Bad booking on Tony Khan. It should have been either Aussie Open or Top Flight. Exactly. I mean, I know Anthony Bowens had mentioned something about a forbidden door when they entered the match, so this would have been perfect for Aussie Open to be put in that match, but nope. That didn't happen. I mean, you could have put LFI in there. You could have put the Lucha Brothers. I mean, it's so far it's Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus the Acclaim versus the Guns versus a 4 team that we'll find out next week, and let's see who makes it in. So after this, we had the Tony Khan announcement, which, just to reiterate really quickly, we're gonna get an AEW All Access for after Dynamite starting in March. So our main event is Jon Moxley versus Evil Uno, and Moxley was looking for his 100th win. Evil Uno immediately went after Jon Moxley, and like Jon Moxley ripped on Evil Uno's mask. Moxley sent Uno into the steel steps. Evil Uno got busted open here. He did the hand. Jon Moxley did the hammer anvil elbows to Evil Uno. Of course, Jon Moxley was victorious after he put Uno in a sleeper. But at the end of the match, Evil Uno was bleeding like crazy. Oh yeah, he definitely was bleeding like crazy. At the end of the match, Jon Moxley wouldn't let go of the hold. Dark Order and the rest of the BBC come out. Hangman also comes on. He goes after Moxley. So he wraps barbed wire around his fist, and he hits Moxley with it. So Moxley also gets busted open. Hangman attempts a buckshot lariat, but Jon Moxley moves out of the way, and that is how Dynamite ends. And overall, I thought it was a decent show. I was not a huge fan of the women's match. It was an okay match. Christian Cage segment, Jungle Boy, I'm so over that feud. Bryan Danielson stuff was good. The opening match was good. The Revolution tag battle had its moments, but I was not happy with the winners. Tony Khan's announcement was underwhelming. Jon Moxley versus Evil Uno was good. So, you know what? I'm going to give tonight's show a 7 out of 10. It had some good stuff, but I just felt like it was super underwhelming. Well, not super underwhelming, but the announcement was kind of underwhelming. So, but overall, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. What about you guys? Did you guys like tonight's show? Or what did you guys think of tonight's show? Or what would you rate tonight's show out of 10? 3 out of 10, lackluster. Yeah, and next week is a go-home show to Revolution. So we shall see how next week does, and we should see how Rampage does. But with that being said, you guys, thank you guys all so much for watching, and for the continuous support, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And hopefully I see you guys live Friday after after Rampage. If not, I'll see you guys hopefully Monday after Raw. Bye.